brilliant to be back at the conference again this year. Just give me some of your reflections as we're back. What do you make of the event so far?
Oh, it's the event of the year, I think, for all of our clients, and it's such an amazing lineup. We hear it all the time, but it really is so exceptional, and every single person on those panels and every speaker are just incredibly important, interesting people, and it's quite amazing that we get them to come back year after year.
And I mean, you've done a lot of stage time today, and we've got some fantastic panelists and some fantastic speakers. Not all of them have agreed with each other, so I think there's lots of talk about consolidation, particularly in the fixed industry. So what's your take on consolidation, and what do you think kind of the best outcome for consumers looks like as we look for the next market structure for telecoms?
Well, I think that kind of from the consumer perspective, consumers are getting an amazing deal as it is, and arguably too good a deal because pricing is really below cost in the altnet sector. So that's really unsustainable, and consolidation kind of needs to happen. It's going to happen because that is kind of an unviable proposition. So consumers, I suspect, will end up paying more. I think they should be paying more. I think for the value of the product, kind of then it's really worth it. And consolidation has been talked about for a really long time. It's very interesting to hear, particularly City Fibre, saying that it really is imminent on and I think kind of on a much more accelerated trajectory. And it's really good, in particular, to hear them saying that they're getting their own house in order before that can really take off, and obviously they're in the midst of that, and we kind of expect some really positive news on that kind of possibly in the next month or two.
I think one thing that I think particularly Lutz wanted us to focus on is the positives that have been achieved. So if you look at the scale and pace of full fibre deployment across the country, it's quite staggering versus, let's say, just 2 or 3 years ago. So on a more positive note, what's your take on how well the industry has executed so far on that deployment, and how likely do you think it is to get to 100% and 95% coverage in the next couple of years?
Well, it really has been staggering. Coming from behind, the UK has really kind of had such an accelerated build, and I think in particular Openreach really ought to be congratulated on that, and it's something really that people don't talk enough about as a BT success story. And they seem to be already they were doing really well, then they've upped their game and they're kind of doing it for lower cost. I think it's really very, very impressive, and it's not like the environment is particularly accommodating. You can't string up kind of wires on poles in the way you can in some maybe southern European countries. It's kind of quite difficult terrain, quite difficult planning permission issues. And in terms of getting kind of to 95%, I think there's probably, as we kind of discussed on the panel, probably require a certain amount of government intervention. I really hope that the funding for that is not taken away, but I doubt it will be, because I really think that kind of the issue of quality infrastructure is moving up the government agenda.